Hello, and welcome to our webinar today, your 2022 Digital Marketing Strategy. My name is Lisa Michaels. I am with Contractor Marketing Agency, and we're here today to help you be incredibly successful in 2022 and beyond. I want to start by kind of telling you a little bit about myself. I have over 20 years experience in marketing and consulting. I have firsthand experience in running a business. I have had B2B businesses as well as B2C businesses. So I have been on both sides of the table, interacting at the marketing level as well as multiple other levels. I specialize in helping small businesses utilize the digital tools that are available to us. Excellent listener, and I consider myself the translator. So I am the person that can listen to your problems and help the techie people understand how to fix them. So I just wanted to introduce myself there. We will cover in this webinar today a lot of things that are going to help your remodeling business grow. So often we hear people are looking for remodeling projects that are consistent, good leads. So we're going to show you how to attract more of the remodeling projects that you want on a consistent basis. We're also going to show you how to clearly position yourself as the leading remodeling contractor in your local area. How to constantly keep your name out there without you even having to lift a finger. That's the best part. And how to set your remodeling business up for long-term success. So these are the things that we're going to cover today. And to get started, I want to make sure that you understand that we kind of understand where you are. So do you get a lot of calls for smaller handyman jobs instead of the larger remodeling projects? We're going to chat about that today. Does your website not reflect the quality of your work and the types of remodeling projects that you want? Your competitors show up when people are searching for remodeling services in your area, but you are nowhere to be found. You need to keep your name out there, but you're so busy right now that you don't have time for marketing. Do any of these sound familiar? If so, we're going to help you get past them, overcome them, or fix them, depending on the situation. If you don't know where you are going, you will wind up or you will end up somewhere else. Yogi Berra, that is the truth. You've got to have a plan, and then you've got to work that plan and stick to it. Here's a couple things that I kind of like to go over on the front end to kind of help you personalize the approach that we're going to have and how to utilize a marketing plan to grow your business. So these are some of the questions we're going to go over initially. So be thinking, jot down if you can your 2021 annual revenue. And then let's talk about your 2022 projected revenue and how that breaks down as a monthly average. What will it take you to get there? Average transaction values, number of leads per month, sales close rate. So a lot of times people don't know that. That may be something you have to, go back at a later date and figure out what's your close rate. And then how much is your cost per lead? What will achieving your goals allow you to do, and what will happen if you fail to achieve your goals? These are questions we're going to go through here in just a couple seconds. So I'm going to give you just a couple minutes, or not minutes, but just be thinking about the answers to these questions, and then we're going to go through an example. So in 2021, let's hypothetically say that your average revenue was $2 million. That's $166,667 a month. And let's say that your projected revenue is $3 million. That's $250,000 a month. Now we need to talk about how we're going to get there. What's it going to take? What are you going to need to generate? What is your marketing program going to need to generate to get you to that $3 million goal? So we need to take a look at your average transaction value. So let's say that your average transaction across the board, big and small, averaged out 25,000. And let's say you need 10 sales per month, obviously, to hit your $250,000 monthly revenue goal. Your average close rate is 25%. So the number of leads you're going to need every month is 40 leads. Now, how are you going to get there? Well, your cost per lead is $250 per lead, which is an investment of $10,000 per month. Now, the question is, would you spend $10,000 to generate $250,000? I would guess that the answer from everyone in the room is yes. So let me show you how that's going to work. What will it take to get there? So your marketing is an investment, not a cost. So when I say investment, I mean you invest X and you get back Y. So you invest 10,000, you get back 250,000. So that's kind of the concept behind it becoming it being an investment, not a cost. Word of mouth and referrals are great, but they are not scalable. So often when I engage with clients and talk with them, they say, well, I ask them where the majority of their leads come from, and they tell me word of mouth and referrals, that is their greatest lead generator. And that is the best, highest closing rate lead generator there is. However, it's not scalable. It's not something that you have any control over. So that is really gravy. We need to put something in place that is scalable, that you can invest money in and get money out of, and have a understanding of I put in and I get out. The Small Business Administration recommends that small businesses allocate 7 to 8% of their annual gross revenue to marketing. So an example, if you've got a $1 million annual revenue, you need to invest $70,000 to $80,000 in your marketing budget. It is highly recommended by the SBA that 80 to 90% of that 70 to 80,000 is spent on digital marketing, and 10 to 20% on traditional marketing. Because you want to market, you want to advertise, you want to invest your money on where your clients are hanging out. So, reasons why contractors fail at marketing. They lack a comprehensive marketing plan. So often when we engage with remodelers, what they tell me is, well, I throw a little bit at this project, I throw a little bit at that one. Maybe they do some Angie's List and some House, and then they got a buddy that handles their website, and their daughter handles their social media when she has a few minutes. That is not comprehensive, and it's not consistent. Your messaging, because you've got multiple people doing it, is going to have a different message coming out of each person, which is the second, lack of a clear message. The other thing is lack of marketing expertise. Even though I'm sure your daughter or your neighbor are very good at what they're doing within their abilities, they're not experts at marketing remodeling companies, more than likely. Or a lot of times the clients will tell us that they just don't have the time. They don't have the daughter in the neighborhood up the street, and they're trying to do it all themselves, and they just don't have the time to fit it in to get the marketing done. The only time they have time to do marketing is when everything dries up and they don't have any business. Lack of frequency and consistency. And here's where I see a lot of people fall into, whereas they do lots of posting when things slow down. When they get busy, they cease posting, and then they get slow again, and they complain about the yo-yo effect of their business. And that is because they're yo-yoing their outreach, their marketing. They're talking to their prospects intermittently, so they get lead flow and then they stop, and they get lead flow and then they stop. They need to be frequent and consistent. A lot of times too, they lack tracking and measuring, so they may be busy. They may have 4 things that they're doing, and one of them's performing really well and the other 3 are not, but because they're not tracking and measuring, they don't know what is and isn't working. Or we run into the fact that they're just not marketing at all. No investment is going out, and business is very inconsistent. Reaching today's homeowner where they are, the buyer's journey. So your 96% of your current prospects are in the awareness stage and the consideration stage. So they're out there on social media and Google, reading blogs, looking at their options, pulling up images on Google of services and dining rooms and kitchens and full home and basement remodels, and they're doing their research. They're researching companies. They're also researching products. So that's where the 96% of your clients are located. 4% of your clients or your prospects are ready to make a decision. The thing that you need to do is be in all three of those locations. You need to make sure that you have a very strong awareness campaign, that you have a very strong educational campaign, and then you need to have a funnel or a conversion tool that turns those lookers into phone calls and emails. Here's a little information for you to kind of back up and reinforce some of the things that I was just showing you on the other. So Google is the most visited website online right now. So Google has been visited 62.19 billion times this year. So when we run across clients who say, well, I just don't put any money into Google paid ads, I just do social media, they're missing a massive part of their market by not being visible on Google. The importance of first on your search engine results page, not very many people go past page 1. 90% of the people surveyed said that they were likely to click on the first page of results. So they're not going past that first page. That's SEO. That's your search engine optimization that you need to focus on and work on to make sure that you get to the first page. And then how often do we use Google searches? 84% of respondents use Google 3+ times a day or more. I know I do. I go there for every question I have, whether it's a buying question or an information question. Google is where we go to get our answers. You need to make sure that you're there when your prospect is asking questions. Little more information. Time spent on social media. A lot of times we'll run into business owners who say, I don't mess with social media, so I'm not marketing on social media. Well, you're not selling to yourself. You're selling to the American public, and the American people spend about 2.5 hours per day on social media and messaging. So if you're going to want to grow your business, you're going to need to participate in social media consistently. Social media users by generation. So often I will run into clients who think that their prospect is, if they sell to an older crowd especially, is not online on social media, and that is just not true. 84% of people 18 to 29, 81% 30 to 49, and it's still very high at 73% 50 to 64. 45% over 65, and that will continue to grow as those of us who are in our 50s to 60s graduate into the 65. So it's just going to continue to be more and more and more people utilizing social media as the American public ages. Facebook is the market leader. So yes, there are lots of other social media platforms out there other than Facebook. However, Facebook is still the top dog at 68% of the public, the US adults, utilizing Facebook as a tool that they spend time on, whether it's for information, connecting with friends, research, whatever it might be. Another thing that we just can't stress enough is your website design. Before the internet existed, the front of your business was key. If someone walked up to the front of your business and the sidewalk was dirty and the glass was dirty and it was just smelled bad inside, people wouldn't come in. They wouldn't do business with you. Now it's your website. That's the key to helping people know what kind of business you are. So 38% of people stop browsing your website if it's unattractive. So if they land on your website and it looks like it was built 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they're probably going to bounce. They're not even going to bother utilizing and moving around on your site. 94% base their impression of your business as a whole on your web design. We have had examples of clients who told us that they heard that people left and did business with someone else simply because their website was poor, and that's why they came to us for a web rebuild. 40% will leave a website if the loading time is more than 3 seconds. Patience is not a virtue that the US public has. It's very important to make sure that your website is built correctly, that your images are loaded correctly, and that your load times as a whole are under 3 seconds. And 75% judge a business's credibility from your website. So if you have links that don't work, if you have images that don't load, so it's a blank space that you know the client's going to know there should be an image there, but maybe your website update wasn't done, a plugin wasn't updated, then it's going to make you look bad, and it's going to affect the credibility that is perceived from the outside looking in. So the gist of all of that is that you need a comprehensive marketing plan. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification manages your risk. So you want to be in multiple places on the web. You want to reach homeowners at all 3 stages of the buyer's journey, not just when they're ready to make a decision. You want to catch them at the top of the funnel so that you can build a strong relationship with them prior to them being ready to make a decision. Your closing rate will increase drastically by doing that. Studies show that people need an average of 8+ touches before they become a real lead. So they need to see you on social. They need to see you, maybe your truck's going down the road. Then they need to see you on Google when they research an image or a source for something. When they do some research on application, maybe you've got a blog that speaks to what they're looking to achieve. So all of these places are ways that you can touch your prospect before they're ready to pull out their checkbook. And you want to become omnipresent in your market with multiple channels working together. And what that means is you want to have the same message on multiple platforms, all utilizing your unique selling proposition across every platform, creating an image that's consistent everywhere. So that when they go to Facebook, they see you. When they go to Instagram, they see you. When they go to Google, they see you. When they start to research and pull up blogs, you populate. These are all places that you need to be omnipresent while your client is in all 3 stages of the buying process. So how are you going to do all that? How is that even possible? Well, that's what you're here to find out today. Contractor Marketing Agency has got a done-for-you remodeling growth blueprint. What this is going to do is going to show you how to check all those boxes so that you can get to the point where you're investing the 10 to get the 250. So let's get started, and I'll show you how it's done. This is kind of a roadmap that's going to show you, that shows all the different stops along the way, the symptom and the results, and we're going to walk through each section individually. And the first one would be your buyer persona. You need to define who your ideal customer is. Create a profile that helps clearly identify their demographic, their values, their dreams, their goals, their pain points, and their challenges. You need to speak directly to your ideal customer. By taking the time to establish this clear target, your marketing will attract your ideal customer. You will also get those who are not ideal. So I always tell every client, you speak to your A customer. All the others, they'll show up eventually, your B's and your C's, but you want that A because they're going to have the best closing opportunity, the highest profit margin. It's going to be something that your business can grow on by generating business and gaining visibility to your ideal customer base. Your core messaging. Not only do you need to speak to the right person, but you need to make sure you're speaking in such a way that they're going to want to do business with you. So you want to communicate your company's story to emotionally connect and build trust with your audience. 80+% of all decisions we make as humans are made based on an emotional experience or connection. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to them on how you're going to help them versus speaking about how great you are. You want to craft a clear value proposition so that you stand out from your competition. And then you want to convey your process in an easy to understand manner for your prospect. You want to make yourself look easy to work with You want to communicate that you understand their pain points, you understand where they're coming from, and you have the answer that's going to make their life simple and easier. Marketing funnel. The majority of consumers today do a lot of research online before they're ready to reach out to talk about their project. That's where your blogging comes in. That's where your visibility comes in, whether it be on Google or social media. Videos are great to shoot videos in the moment as well as professional that speak to your abilities, the quality of your work, the before and after images that can help the client visualize themselves in that particular situation. A marketing funnel can capture and nurture leads through each stage of the buyer's journey: awareness, consideration, and decision. Another great tool that you would want to utilize on your website is a downloadable piece that actually speaks to and answers the questions that your prospect has as they're trying to develop a decision or make a decision in an area. Conversion-focused website. So your website is the hub of your marketing. You need a beautiful website that truly conveys who you are, who you serve, what you do, and why someone should do business with you. You don't want to make a customer wonder what you do or dig for an understanding. You want it to be clear and concise. Be equally important, your website should be specifically built with clear call to action and to capture leads. A lot of times we will run across clients who have pretty pictures on their website, but you can't find a phone number. You can't figure out how to connect with them, or their web submittal forms do not work. So people might fill it out and it goes into nowhere land, or their phone number is not click to call. All that you want to make it super easy to convert a looker to a buyer, to a prospect, to someone who reaches out to you for a quote, for connecting with you to ask questions. You don't want to make them have to dig. Search optimization, SEO. You want to be found online when people in your area are searching for what it is that you do instead of your competitors. You want to populate on page 1. You want to be in the top 3 of Google Maps. You want to make sure that they see you everywhere they look. SEO is how that's done. Your website and Google My Business listing should be optimized with the right keywords, and you should build trust and authority online. This trust and authority online is done through content. It's done through the way your site is built, search engine optimization wise, as far as on-site. It is achieved by how you set up your Google My Business. The number of times that we engage with businesses who do not have their GMB set up in such a way that well represents the industry they're in. So they wonder why they don't populate when someone is searching for a remodeler near me or kitchen remodeling, is because they're not set up correctly on Google. Paid acquisition, PPC. These are all phrases I'm sure you're familiar with. When you're running a paid ad, when you're running an ad campaign on Google, Facebook, and Instagram, can get you in front of your ideal customers and help generate quick wins right out of the gate. So what we do so often when we're working with a client is we will have your SEO working on one side, your PPC working on the other, and they're working toward the same goal. Your SEO is a slow grow process. So you have to build authority with Google when it comes to your GMB as well as with your website, and that takes time. So while you're waiting for that to happen, while we're working with Google to build that authority, we can be running paid ads that get you at the top of the search results every time someone is searching for something that you do, whether it be kitchen remodel, bath remodel, full house remodel. Those are the kind of things that you want to populate for at the top of the page while you're waiting for your SEO to take hold. You can build a predictable flow of online leads while also being able to dial it up or down as needed. So a lot of times what we'll see is when a client first comes on board, they're really anxious for jobs because they need to fill that funnel. You know, they may be booked 2-3 weeks out. So we will come in at a very high spend for their paid campaigns. And then once they've got that funnel filled up to 6, 8 weeks out to where they've got a really nice flow of business coming in, they may drop it down a little bit. And then once they catch up, or let's say that they are hugely successful and they add a second or third team, then they can pump it up again, generate more leads. So that's the great thing with the paid campaigns, is you can dial them up or down as needed as your business model changes and as your team grows. Social engagement. This is the place where you want to invest your time to build awareness that you are out there as an option when they're ready to make some decisions. So no matter what age or demographic your ideal customers are on social media, a majority of whom spend a few hours every day scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, and other social networking sites. So that's where you want to promote yourself. That's where you want to build awareness, because that's where your prospect is. Post content that educates, informs, and engages with your audience so that you're always top of mind. You're building a reputation. You're building that confidence level. So in their minds, they're thinking, well, when I'm ready to when I'm ready to redo my kitchen, I really think I want to give these guys a call. Or maybe they see your ads, they've read your blogs, and then they're ready to make some phone calls. So they go to Google and they type in remodeler near me. Well, you've been talking to them for months on social media, so that name recognition exists. So they're way more likely to click on your phone number when they get to Google to get that first quote. That is what social engagement is all about. And then your online reviews. It's very important that you are proactive in generating these online reviews. As a rule, human nature is they're not going to leave a review unless they're angry. So we need to encourage people to leave reviews when they're happy. And there's lots of ways to do that. You want to make it as easy as possible. Reviews online are the new word of mouth referrals. Studies show that people trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from friends and family. That speaks volumes to why you need to grow your online reviews. Increasing 5-star reviews will help build trust and reputation for your business. So asking those happy clients, emailing those happy clients, asking them to review you online, and then giving them links to do so, that is what's going to build and grow your business. If you don't ask, more than likely, they're not going to leave you a review, even though they're very happy with your service. So once you've done all these things, once we've put all this stuff in place, you've got to know what's working, what's not working, how can I increase or improve, what maybe should I change direction on. You need to make sure that you're measuring your results, that you're looking at each level of your efforts, social media, search engine optimization, paid campaigns, what's happening when people just land on your website organically. All these things need to be measured, they need to be looked at, and you need to know what you're generating. So key performance indicators is what KPI stands for, optimization and reporting. So you want to make sure that things are connected to all these tools that measure their results. An effective marketing strategy must have the right data and analytics in place to make informed decisions and optimize campaigns to their peak performance. You're not going to know what needs tweaking if you're not measuring. Track all visits, phone calls, form submissions, and many other KPIs to make data-driven decisions. So you want to make sure that you're measuring things. Otherwise, you're not going to know what is successful and what needs tweaking. So there, we made it through our whole roadmap. We touched on each one of the stops along the way. This is what's going to get you to the point where your online marketing is generating consistent dollars to drive your business so that you can scale and add team and become the business that you've set out to become. So imagine what life would be like if you get to pick and choose from the best remodeling projects in your area that you want to focus on. When you've got enough leads coming in, that's very easy to do. Imagine you don't have to even think about marketing and advertising, so you can just focus on the work you enjoy. So rather than constantly having to go back and check and look at, what I'm doing here and in fielding the phone calls and all the things that come at you for marketing, if it could just be done for you and you just sit back and field the leads and pick and choose the projects you want. Or imagine if you're regarded as the leading remodeler in your area. This goes back to the fact that you get to pick and choose the jobs you do. What difference would it make to your business and your family if all three of those things above were reality? Well, they can be. They can very easily be reality. So your first option in making all that happen is that you hire, train, and manage a team, employees or freelancers, to develop and implement your marketing plan. So you would need a marketing strategist, you would need a web designer or developer, both, depending on how much functionality you want, a SEO specialist, so someone that specializes in search engine optimization, how to make your Google My Business and your website populate, a Google Ad specialist who knows how to select the keywords, build the landing pages, craft the language that's going to cause the conversion to take place, Facebook and Instagram ad specialist that knows the ins and outs of Instagram, Facebook, and even others, content and blog writers. So you're going to need a writer who can take the things in your industry that people are researching and create recent relevant content that can be posted on your website so that the prospect sees you as an expert, as well as Google seeing you as an expert. And then you're going to need a social media marketer, someone who knows how to build your ads to convert and get attention. And it says over here, don't forget all of the tech, Google Analytics, and all call tracking, Facebook pixels, Google Ads, conversion codes, and overall reporting dashboards. So true. You can, if a different individual is doing all of these things, you're going to need to have each result fed into some sort of tracking mechanism so you can know what's working. Your other option, option 2, would be to hire an expert marketing agency to design and implement your marketing plan. They would focus on sales. You would focus on sales and running your business, while the agency focuses on your marketing and generating the leads. And then you just provide feedback as needed. How amazing would that be? You don't touch it. You don't think about it. You share the information with the marketing agency, and they go to town generating leads. That's option 2. Depending on your position and your decision, whether you like option 1 or option 2, if option 2 is something that you think you'd like to explore a little deeper, I would love it if you would reach out to us via the chat or email. My email's here, my phone number is as well. And let's schedule a time to talk about your specific goals. I'd love to learn more about your business, where you're hoping to go in 2022. See if we can't generate a roadmap that'll get you there. All the things that we discussed in these earlier slides are very applicable to any of the remodeling type businesses that exist. So I would love to take them and apply them to your business specifically. So please consider this. Give me a call, drop me an email, and we'll chat about how we can take your business to the next level. I greatly appreciate your time. I have enjoyed speaking with you today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and I would be happy to answer them.